Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm Miss Lisa, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about everything I want to, science and math. And today we are doing Algebra 1 and using our graphing calculator. And this works for TI 84s, 83s, 82s to get the answer to quadratic equations. So first of all, let's review what the answer is. The solution to a quadratic equation is considered where the graph crosses the x-axis. So this one has two solutions. Those two. Sometimes they have one solution. If they're just sitting on top of the line or hanging off the line upside down, that's just one solution. And sometimes they have no solutions because they're floating up here somewhere. And that's when it has imaginary solutions. I always think of SpongeBob going, imagination. All right, so I'm going to show you a bunch of ways to get the answer using your calculator, using programs and not programs. First, we'll do this way that this book teaches, page 532, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start by turning our calculator on. I have stuff going on here, so I've got to go to y equals and clear that out. See the clear button? Also, see how my plot 1 is turned on? I want to turn that off. That'll make those dots go away. So I arrowed up to it. I hit enter and see how it's not colored anymore. It doesn't have that black background. Okay, so that's gone. The other thing is I had a weird window. So I'm going to go to zoom standard and it straightened my window out. So now I'm ready to go. All right, so what I'm supposed to graph is this. And I'm going to find the answers to that using my calculator. I could do it. There's a lot of algebraic ways I could do this, but we want to use our calculator because it's more fun. All right, so I'm going to say y equals, and I'm going to put this in, 2x squared, so here's my 2, that button is x, and there is squared. Now, if it's not squared, if you're doing some other thing, not quadratic, then you can do up arrow, whatever exponent it is, but then you have to remember to arrow back down and over again because it'll leave you up in exponent land instead of numerator land, which is, if you do x squared, it pops you back down to numerator land. Okay, plus 3x, so I hit plus 3x, and then minus 4. Minus, you use minus if it's in the middle of an equation. You can remember that because minus and middle both start with the letter M. Minus 4. If it's at the beginning of the equation, you use the negative at the bottom because beginning and bottom both start with B. All right, so there it is. I'm going to hit graph. See how it looks? Woo, there it is, right? So I need the solutions, where this is going to cross. Now, the ones your book gave you for these are all weird little decimals. It's almost like they didn't want you to realize that you can use this to cheat and do all of your quadratic equations. So they gave you weird ones so you'd think, oh, that's just when it's weird and you're getting a weird decimal. Nope, this will work for all quadratic equations. They went through and set their window. I always just try zoom standard first, or I'll just go ahead and graph it. And if I have to, I'll mess with the window. All right, so now we want arrow answers. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this with and without programs. The first way is without programs. Say you're taking the SAT, they made you wipe your programs, but you still want to use your calculator to get the answer. You put it in, you graph it. You hit second trace, which is calculate, and we go to 0. Another name for the answer besides solutions are zeros. And I have other videos that explain why it's called that. So that's the one we're going to get. That means answers. Okay. So it says left bound, right bound. What that means is you take that little cursor and you get it. I'm going to use these arrow overs, and I'm going to get it on the left side of where this line crosses the x-axis. So that's what it's telling me to do, and I did that, so I say enter. And now it says right bound, which means I arrow to the right side. See, we're going up and down, but we're also going left and right. And it's telling me, okay, now get your little blinky thing to the other side. That's how it says that. Okay, and I hit enter. And now it says guess, meaning, do you want me to guess and tell you the answer? Yes, I do. So I say enter, and there it tells me what it is. The 0 or the answer, where y equals 0 is this. X is negative 2.35. And there it is, negative 2.35. Now it has two answers, so I have to do this again. So I go second calc, I go back to number 2, and now I got to go to the other side. It says left bound. Well, I've already done this one, so now I've got to go to the left side of this one. And for this one, the left side is underneath the line. Do you see that? And so I hit enter, telling it, yep, I got it over there. Now it says right bound, which means get it on the other side over here. Okay, I got it on the other side. I can say enter. And now it says guess. Yes, I want you to guess. And there is the other answer. X can be negative 0.85. I mean, not negative, positive 0.85. So there's the two answers. So the answers are always either two numbers or one if it's just sitting on there. So that's one way to get the answers for a quadratic equation, the solutions. Isn't that more fun than doing the math? Okay, but there are other ways you could do it too. Another way you could do it is using programs. Okay, so I'm going to quit out of this. I'm going to say second quit. I'm going to go to program, and I have all these programs. You might not have programs. If you don't have programs, you need to get them. You can get them from me. If you know me, just let me know, and you can come by, and I've got cables, and I will give you programs. Or if you go to the school that I teach at, come by. I've got cables. I can give you programs for TI 82, 3, or 4, and they can all do this. If not, you can get programs. I think you can get some off of the TI 84 website. So go there and you can get them. You can write them yourself is another thing. Go online. In my next video, I think I'm going to be uploading, will show you one way to write it yourself. So there's a lot of ways to get them. You need to get some programs. So when I used to teach public school in a different county than what I'm at now, I had one student who would write programs, and there would be in my AP chemistry class, and there would be a line outside my AP chemistry door of kids waiting to see him. And he had written a quadratic program, and they would line up with $20, and they were paying that kid $20 each to get a quadratic program like this. Now, I do not recommend you doing that, but good for him. His name was Chip. He was a young entrepreneur, calculator programmer. And yeah, people were handing him $20, and this was like back in the 90s, a long time ago. All right, so let me clear out that again. Second quit. Let me clear and start again. Okay, so we're going to go to a program. And I've got this one program. It looks like it says Aquad, but it's A-quad. I'm going to hit enter. And this is going to also tell me my answers. Now, let's do another one. Let's do this one instead to show you how you use these normally. See, we can use the quadratic equation and do all that math, or we can do this program. So we're going to solve this. And first it asks for A. A is the coefficient of x squared, and there's no number there, so that means it's an understood one. We're all cool, and we like our ones to be understood. So I put in 1, and I hit enter. Then it asks me what B is, and B is 9. So I put 9, enter. And then it asks me for C, and C is 14, enter. And then it tells me what the vertex is, and it tells me that the solutions are -2 and 7. And if you look here, it says the solutions are -2 and -7, just like that. Dun-la-dun. See how fun that is? Now, I also have a program back here called Discriminant, and this one will also tell you even if the solutions are imaginary. So you really need a program like that. That Discriminant stands for discriminant, and it will also tell you the discriminant, but the great thing about that one is it will give you this one. If they're not real solutions, my A quad and B quad, it'll say no real solutions. Well, by Algebra 2 in college, you have to tell the answer even if there's not a real solution. All right, so like, share, subscribe. Come back next time, and I'll teach you more about your TI 84, 82, or 83 graphing calculator. Like, share, subscribe.